Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ's in the studio with me. How you doing, buddy?
Congratulations.
Thank you. 24 years. Yes, we've been doing this goofy little radio show called Scuba Radio. It's hard to believe that much time has passed.
24 for you.
Yeah.
15 for me.
Right.
Me and Himmy.
Right.
We were the same start date.
That's right. I certified CJ and Bubble Boy. I got him certified to dive.
Yep.
2006. How many years?
That was in 2006, so it was 15 years ago.
Right. But we started Scuba Radio initially 24 years ago on April Fool's Day.
I remember that.
Yeah. No fooling. I post that every year.
That's kind of appropriate.
And over the last few years, a lot of people have thought that this was some kind of April Fool's joke, that, we were celebrating our anniversary, especially when you got up to the 20-year mark. They're like, what? You've been doing this how long? What the hell is wrong with you? Well, you obviously haven't been listening, because you would have figured that out a long time ago.
Everyone's got their opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Clinical diagnoses.
Right.
Have not been rendered.
What do you mean?
We have thoughts.
We have thoughts that it could be some kind of mental issues involved with doing this show.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I've been wasting how many countless Saturdays?
Yeah.
Well, for 15 years.
Right. Think of that is time you can't get back.
I have to look at myself too. That's
right.
on me.
You probably would have been way more successful than you are if you would have taken that time and used it way more productively than spending it with us every Saturday afternoon. But God bless you for doing it.
Where's the fun in that?
There's a lot of fun in being a success, but then you wouldn't be able to reflect back on all
I need something to look forward to.
Right. Well, we're here to anchor you, to keep you, look like, I've wasted all this time on Scuba Radio. Anything other than this is kind of like an upgrade, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So we're looking at it that way. That we're setting the bar so low that everything else you do in a life will seem like a major success.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually getting paid for stuff.
Right. See, there's one. We haven't paid.
Imagine that ever happening.
Exactly. Bill knows. He's been our engineer back in the. He's with us today on this special.
It does happen. Not here, but it does happen.
Right.
No, I do not believe that. That is a fictional statement.
In the real world, but not here.
Well, maybe.
You get hats, you get T-shirts. That's it.
Yeah. And you're lucky if you get those. We're actually charging the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad for those things now, because we don't have the budget for it anymore.
I just want to know how many years you got to invest to get paid for it.
Well, hey, Jerry the Diver
You basically have to be Greg.
About another 24 years, you might be in line for something.
Well, I've got, 14 to go then?
Yeah.
The good news is everybody gets 10% raises starting today.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's true.
Hey.
It's the annual increase. Yeah, we got to keep up with inflation.
10% of nothing is nothing.
Yeah, hello, but we still
Scuba Radio stimulus check.
That's right. We still give. In all seriousness, you're hearing the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad speak up, and we're going to yuck it up pretty much today because it's kind of a celebratory type of time in the history of our goofy little show. But in all seriousness, I must say, I'm so humbled that I'm able to do this every week. Seriously,
Really?
it is shocking to think that we've been doing this goofy show for 24 years. It is unbelievable. It's hard to imagine.
It's a big FU to the man.
Well,
which I love.
You know, I'll tell you. I'll tell this story once again because I kind of reflect every year. And we literally started Scuba Radio as an excuse to go diving on company time. When I was working at a sports station here in Orlando, Florida, where we're based, I was helping manage the radio station. And I went into the boss's office. I said, you know, this sucks. Working at this radio station, it was a sports station. We could golf free at any course in Orlando, but I don't golf. And he was a diver. I was a diver. And I said, wouldn't it be great if we could dive for free? And he goes, let's do a dive show. And lo and behold, Scuba Radio was born out of that little quick conversation.
And that was Diver Dick.
That was Diver Dick back in the day, literally 24 years ago, right before April 1st. You know, it was actually a few months before then.
And you said, it's so crazy, it just might work.
Well, you know, actually, I had the idea for a TV show at the time. I'd worked in TV production for a brief stint.
Have you looked in the mirror?
Yeah, and that's why it never launched. But I had written up this whole synopsis to do a dive-related TV show with an attitude because, I'd become a diver. I'd met some interesting people like Captain Slade who feeds fish with his face. And I read about all these crazy divers in Skin Diver magazine at the time. And I was like, this is a pretty unique crowd of people.
Home for weirdos.
Exactly. And I instantly felt connected to the community. And I thought, if you did a TV show that showed all the pretty fish and the cool destinations you could go to and kind of focus more on those characters, you might have a pretty awesome TV show. And then when he said, well, let's do a dive radio show, I said, well, look, if you take away the pictures, you actually still have a show because you're still kind of focusing on those crazy characters. And that was really the synopsis of Scuba Radio when we started, put it on the air once again as an excuse to go diving on company time. And when everybody started hearing it, the divers went nuts. They could not believe that we were doing a radio show about scuba diving.
Finally, something for us.
Yeah, and it evidently had never really been done before. So I said, well, Scuba Radio is the world's first radio show devoted to diving, and the rest is history. So there you go.
So you're like a pioneer.
Well, I don't know if I'm a pioneer, but it was right time, right place.
Are you in the Radio Hall of Fame?
In the Radio Hall of Fame, in my mind, yes,
you
absolutely.
You should be.
Well, thank you. Kyle, what say you? Commando Kyle.
I'm pointing at Bill up here.
Oh, he's pointing at Bill the engineer, because he was there at the beginning. Bill hasn't been with us for a long time, and he joined us on this special show because, well, once again, we increased his salary by 10%.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill the Seducer.
That's right. No, I don't think that's accurate, but
so
it's probably partially
a couple
true.
of takeaways from your story.
Yeah.
Number one, this is you humble.
Yeah.
Number two.
Wait, what's so funny? What's so funny? I don't get it.
It took Diver Dick to point out that maybe a radio show would be easier since you worked at a radio station. Those are my two takeaways.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
fair points.
I don't get it. I don't know what he's talking about.
I know you don't.
But I'm glad I amuse you, and that's why I'm here. And that's how we roll. So look, we're going to reflect on some stories. The first time you heard about Scuba Radio, we'll go through the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. We have some special guests that are going to join us. One with us right now, Jerry Beatty from Dive Training Magazine, is one of those folks that, well, he was kind of a mentor of many that I met in the dive industry in the early days, and he still associates with us to this day. Jerry, how are you, dude? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. It's good to see the whole team back together.
Yes.
Very special day, guys. It really means something to be here today. Thank you, Greg.
Well, the fact that Jerry, after all these years, still manages to associate with us is shocking,
incredible.
or just shows how low his standards really are.
Or he hasn't been paying attention.
That could be a little bit of all of that. What do you think, Jerry?
Be, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. What was the first time when you heard about Scuba Radio? Tell that story. You've told it before, but go ahead and share with the rest of the class.
Greg, it's one I'll never forget. We were at Neil Watson had this weekend-long beach party called Ocean Fest.
Right.
And we partied for 2-3 days. Supposed to be a trade show of some kind, but It was a beach party, beer and babes. And we're having this great time. And this particular year, Dive Training Magazine had brought in our entire team. I mean, from the West Coast, from New York, from all over the country. We brought them all down there to party that weekend, and we're all on the beach having a good time. And my boss, my publisher, comes by and grabs us one by one and says, 2:00, Yankee Clipper, you're going to be in a meeting.
Yeah.
Mandatory.
Right.
I went, what?
Why do we got to do that? Why are you taking us away from the booze?
To the Yankee Clipper.
Yeah.
He's got this meeting room set up. I'm going, oh, this is a drag. And all of a sudden, he introduces Greg Holt and says, now he's going to make a presentation.
And it just goes downhill from there. The good news is they did have plenty of booze in the room as well. We'll continue the story on the other side. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving. 24 years today.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Need an escape from reality for a while? Your favorite scuba action star, Mike Scott, is back in an all-new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From the brilliant mind of author Eric Douglas comes the thriller that started it all. Listen as Mike unravels the death of a girl, the protest of new development, and the systemic destruction of coral reefs, all against the stunning backdrop of Grand Cayman Island. This one's got it all. Submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface. When he was ready and completely relaxed, he wrapped his arms through the straps of the seat cushion and gently slid into the water.
Dive back into adventure with Cayman Cowboys. Also available, Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish. Download all 5 audiobooks now at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, or audible.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures ScubaRadio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
You're listening to Scuba Radio. 20 years.
Make that 24 now.
And still suckin'.
Suck.
On air.
Hey, come on. That sting.
You can hear it on Scuba Radio, the world's first scuba diving show. From Captain Ron to Jock Cousteau, they all love Scuba Radio.
Yes, this is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. 24 years ago, we started Scuba Radio, our anniversary, April Fool's Day. No fooling. And here we are, still doing it, still sucking on air after all these years.
Consistency.
Yeah. You know, you do something long enough, eventually you get mediocre at doing it.
Someday.
Yeah. And we'll reach that bar
goals.
at some point.
It's good to have goals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our goals have been very, very low because we're divers at heart. So that's worked to our advantage.
Next year, we'll be scraping the bottom of mediocrity.
So true, so true. Now, Jerry Beatty from Dive Training Magazine was sharing his first impression of hearing about Scuba Radio. There was this meeting at Ocean Fest. We started Scuba Radio kind of at the same time Neil Watson started Ocean Fest, literally 24 years ago. It had about a 10-year, 15-year run, and then it went kapooey. But, one of those first years, Jerry's boss told him, that we're going to have a presentation we want you to go see at the Yankee Clipper, the hotel right down there in Fort Lauderdale by the Ocean Fest event. And the presentation was me. And so this is the first time that I got to present my idea of Scuba Radio to the dive training crew that had no idea who the hell I was or what the hell I was doing. And Jerry, I don't know, your first impression was what, Jerry? Like, who the hell is this guy or what?
Greg, after you gave your presentation on a show dedicated to diving, a
right.
radio show to diving, I thought, what spaceship did this guy fall off of? It was like, oh, yeah, sure, we're going to do this.
Right.
And at the end of the presentation, my boss asked, now, how can we help this guy?
Yeah.
And my comment was, we absolutely can't. There is no help for this guy.
Yeah, Jerry wasn't super supportive initially. His boss, Mark Young, now we got to give Mark props because he was like, let me have you do your little spiel in front of everybody. Bring him up to speed and what you do, and we'll see if we can help you out because Mark's just that kind of guy, and Jerry was too.
Mark's a super great guy.
Yeah, but Jerry, Jerry is too, but he was a little confused on like what the hell are we supposed to do with this?
Yeah, I was.
And I was. All I remember from that is like, well, Jerry, don't get it. We'll just have to figure out a way to make this work anyway. And but he became a convert. I don't know how long it took after that.
It didn't take long.
Yeah, and he wasn't like, and Jerry wasn't like negative or anything. He wasn't real vocal about it. He just said, I don't really know what we can do. You're quite a unique bird. And I don't know if he meant that personally or about what I was trying to do, or maybe a combination of the two. But along with his, I think after a period of time, it was kind of like, well, this guy ain't going away. And let me talk to him some more. And after a few more cocktails, he started coming around and started fitting into our little crew. And here he is to this day. He's on us on Scuba Radio with us 24 years later. So did we just basically work you over and you finally just gave in or what?
You wore me out. What can I do? Actually, it didn't take long to win me over at all. And now 24 years later, me and you have traveled all over the world.
Yes.
We've gotten into all kinds of mischief.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to a whole lot more years of doing the same thing.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Jerry Beatty and just the whole crew at Dive Training Magazine. I mean, when we first came on the scene, what was really interesting was, there could be that kind of attitude you could take from another media company like a magazine and say, like, look, this is another competitor. We don't need this. We don't need this competition to, take ad dollars possibly away from our business and stuff like that. That didn't even cross their minds. At least if it did, they didn't say so. They were really going out of their way to figure out how could we lift these guys up because they got a unique idea. It probably won't work, but
that was the thing.
Yeah,
they were sure you would fail. So
right. Well, maybe
it was a threat.
But I'll tell you, there were some other media companies at the time when we started that definitely were a little bit more on the shady type of thing. Because I didn't look at dive magazines or anything like that as competition. Scuba Radio was truly unique at the time, and honestly, it still is to this day. We kind of do a unique thing. We got this little niche, and now podcasting's the thing too, and we do that as well. But the thing about it is that, when you're coming into an industry kind of cold like this, I mean, sure, I had some radio experience. I knew how to put a radio show together, but I didn't really know the dive industry and how to make it work from a business standpoint because we're supported by advertisers. The ads you hear on Scuba Radio are the ones that pay our bills and make this possible. And you can thank them or you can blame them, but they do get the credit for making this possible to do week in and week out, and we do thank them immensely for that. They've seen the vision, right? But in the early days when we were just getting started, I mean, heck, I didn't know how we were going to pay our electric bill, let alone make this a viable business long term. And here we are 24 years later. Seems like 24 hours sometimes.
In a blur.
Yeah. But it's been a great ride, and it's thanks to folks like Jerry and the dive training team that didn't look at us as a potential threat or something to water down the industry, and looked at a way to lift people up as opposed to knock them down and try to keep the pie to themselves. They've always been very supportive. I've never thought of them any other way than just the best organization they possibly can. And that's why they're still around too. I mean, actually dive training started a year or two before us? Is that what how many years has dive training been around, Mike? I mean,
Mark.
Not Mark, Jerry.
We've been around almost 27 years now.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
It was about 3 years before you got going.
Right. So, and they've always been very, very supportive, and God bless them for it. So I thank you, and I thank you immensely for keeping your initial thoughts to yourself and not, letting the air out of my balloon, so to speak, when we first started this goofy little show. All right, so that's Jerry Beatty. We're going to talk to him some more, obviously. We got Casey the Tobacco Nut. We got Vinny Two Tanks. We got Bubble Boy, Commando Kyle, Bill the Engineer, Jerry the Diver Guy, Captain Walt DiMartini at the Gomez Hilton with, I know, an attractive young lady, it looks like. What do you got going on at the Gomez Hilton today, Walt? What is
That's the lovely Joelle. Joelle's worked for Neil. She worked for Stewart. She's been in the industry.
Bill and Nala. Okay, she's worked for everybody, evidently. She's hanging out at the Gomez Hilton. I could think of worse places to hang. CJ and I just spent a couple days there early this week. We'll talk about that and more next. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Conventional underwater scooters can be heavy, unwieldy, and underpowered. At just over 8 pounds and with speeds of up to 7 miles per hour, the Scuba Jet Pro dive scooter is a game changer and fits in your dive bag. The Scuba Jet Pro uses an eco-friendly jet engine with impeller technology. With adapters, it can even power paddleboards, canoes, kayaks, and all kinds of water sports equipment. It's the most versatile scooter you'll ever own. Learn more and get the Scuba Jet Pro at ScubaJet.com. That's ScubaJet.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving, flying, and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving, flying, and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why I wanted to tell you about Nanook Professional Protective Cases. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook cases generally cost less than similar products currently on the market. From an iPhone to a full set of dive gear, whatever you need to shield from the elements, Nanook Professional Protective Cases has the size, shape, and color for you. Go to Nanook.com. That's NANUK.com for Nanook Professional Protective Cases. The evolution of protection.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new ScubaRadio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 ScubaRadio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always, and I got a ScubaRadio hat for you, too.
New ScubaRadio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Let me tell you about a friend I know. He's got the world's first scuba diving radio show. So now everywhere I am, and everywhere I go, the first thing that I tune to is Scuba Radio.
This This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ's in the studio with me. We got the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web. Vinny Two Tanks out there on the left coast. Jerry Beatty from Dive Training Magazine. Commando Kyle up there in Georgia. We got Bubble Boy. We got Jerry the Diver Guy. Casey the Tobacco Nut. Dr. Doug Ebersol with us as well. We're going to check in with him in just a bit. And Brittany the Aqua Gypsy is with us as well with her Florida stone crab hunting friend. So they have just connected with us. We're going to get an update with them in just a bit. But I want to make sure I find out what's going on at Gomez Hilton. Yeah, hold up there, Brittany. Hold up. Brittany's kind of breaking up. She has a weak signal. So just kind of hang back there a little bit, Brittany. She's down there in Naples. I think her internet connection may be, like 2 tin cans and a string kind of thing. So kind of get closer to your Wi-Fi there, Brittany, and then we'll talk to you in just a bit. But at the Gomez Hilton, we have a special guest, and she's worked with Neil Watson. She's worked with Stewart, and God knows who else. I don't know. Jerry, has she worked with you too? Do you recognize that fine young lady staying at the Gomez Hilton, Jerry Beatty? What do you think? Yes?
No, she looks pretty familiar.
It's hard to say. She's got her sunglasses on because, sun's out. What is it, CJ? Sun's out, buns out? Or
That's right.
No, that's not it.
Not touching
No, I don't. What did you do with Neil and Stewart? Wait a minute. Don't answer that.
First of all, I used to work with Walt on the boat.
Ah, okay.
And I was with him when we did the submerged buoys for Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so she's one of those. God bless her.
I don't know what that means.
That means, if she was a crew member on the Dry Martini from back in the day, she had a lot of skills as a dive master.
Gotcha.
And it's hard to tell because, we can only see her, I better just stop while I'm ahead.
Shut up.
We want to make it to 25 years, right?
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
I don't know. That's not true. Not completely. I'm still a good, 70% there. Wouldn't you say, CJ?
That's being generous.
Okay. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. 24 years on the air this week for Scuba Radio. Yeah, that is just how we roll sometimes. All right, so there's a lot going on at the Gomez Hilton, and Walt has a special guest. What's your name again, by the way, just so we get it? Joel. Joel was you were one of the dive masters on the Dry Martini back on the day.
Yes, I was.
Were you one of the ones that were running the underwater speakers? Because that's how I met Captain Walt DiMartini initially, is that I heard he was running Scuba Radio underwater through these underwater speakers. Were you part of that mess?
Underwater speakers. No, I was underwater. We were putting down the buoys. I was underwater buoys before underwater speakers.
Okay, all right. So she was a buoy. She liked to work with the buoys off of the Dry Martini.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
that was Walt is known for having very colorful crew members like yourself. Were you one of those?
Course.
Yeah, you're part of that team.
I'm not that colorful.
Oh, well, I don't know what that means, but she put it in air quotes.
Yes, I think you know.
Okay,
you know what that means.
We'll just leave that alone.
I'm good.
All right, but you're enjoying yourself at the Gomez Hilton today, it looks like to me.
Yes. We came from Chicago, and I haven't been down here for a while, so
all right.
It was good to see Walt and, hang out here.
Well, there you go.
Gomez Hilton.
That's right. Yeah, well, she's living large. Well, thank you, Joelle. We appreciate you being on Scuba Radio today. Kick back, have a cocktail, welcome rum punch. She might have had one or two already. You think, CJ?
Joelle, like Superman. Got it.
Okay. All right. So we do have, we have Brittany, the Aqua Gypsy, with us, and she's trying. I think she's got her connection squared away. Brittany, can you hear me now? Talk to me, Brittany.
I can, yes.
Yes, there you are. And as we can see on YouTube and Facebook today, you have. Is that your Florida stone crab?
Yes, this is my stone crab guru.
Your stone crab guru. What's your name again? What is it?
Sarah.
Sarah, welcome to Scuba Radio and our 24-year anniversary show, by the way. So, because it is our anniversary show, did you bring us 24 stone crab claws to share with everybody today? Something
Today,
like
next time when we all get together.
All
and
right.
Scuba dive.
Not today, but next time she's going to make it happen. And you're going to keep her to that, right, Brittany?
Today she brought you 24 spankings.
Whoa, hey now. Okay. I don't, thank goodness she's at home in Fort Myers.
Now, would that be bare hand or paddle?
Greg,
Yeah. What do you think, Brittany? Do you care to comment or should we move on? We probably
we're in
should.
Marco Island, Greg.
So what about an island? What?
We are in Marco Island.
Marco Island. That's right. Not Fort Myers. I keep saying Fort Myers, but it's Marco Island. So if I want to go down to and get spanked, I have to go to Marco Island. See, I would have went to the wrong place, and I would have just got smacked.
You go to the wrong place?
Yeah, no, well, that isn't very.
The
funny.
hell you say?
That's not funny at all. All right, so
Walt would think it's pretty funny.
So Brittany, tell us though, what are you doing down there in Naples today? Are you guys eating stone crab, or what? What are you just hanging out, or what? What's going on?
Claws today, but I don't know if they were exactly stone crab claws.
Why? What kind of claws are we talking then? What were you doing?
Just white claws.
White claws? Oh, the white claws.
That's a beverage.
Yeah, the booze. That's what the kids are drinking these days. I
Frothy
gotcha.
and creamy.
Okay, so you guys are kicking back for Scuba Radio Happy Hour, celebrating our anniversary accordingly. Is that what you're trying to say, Brittany? Yeah?
That's correct. We're
All right.
waiting for you down here, Greg, because we do still need to put some traps in the water.
Yeah.
Because FWC just changed the stone crab rules. It used to be May 15th, and now it's May 1st, right? Correct.
Well, you have to have them in the water by May 1st. Is that it?
No, they have to be out of the water by May 1st.
What? I thought I had till the end of May, but now they've changed it, huh? Oh,
Yep.
brother.
And claws have to be a little bit longer. Yeah.
Well, you as a Florida stone crab aficionado and hunter, that's kind of your thing, right? That's what you do. You monitor the catch.
She's an inspector, Greg.
An inspector for the state of Florida. Okay. And so, I mean, have you seen that the claws are kind of going on the big side, or they've been coming in small? Has there been any kind of trend, or what? What have you seen?
Big, actually. The claws have been very big, and most of them have been, which indicates that we're getting a different population coming in that we haven't seen in the fishery before, like very large crabs.
Nice.
Big ass crabs.
Yeah.
For December, we don't see like colossal and jumbo size large and jumbo size claws, and we're getting them into January, which is very, very.
That's a good thing. If they're bigger, they're better, right? Are they?
What?
If they're bigger, they're better. Are they? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, they're expensive. That's for sure.
Well, they're expensive, yeah. So because you got medium, large, and then jumbo and colossal. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, that's typically how the fish house creates them. Yeah.
Yeah. I always get it mixed up. If jumbo and colossal, which one's bigger? But colossal.
Colossal's way bigger than jumbo.
The big is not better. The big is not better.
Bigger.
It's the medium.
Really?
Yeah.
You say Joelle says you go smaller, and the Florida stone crab tastes better.
Yeah, it's better.
We are talking about stone crabs, are we?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. You never know when you get
The
a.
bigger the better. Other places. Stone crab, no.
Okay, that's enough out of you, Joelle. She's been drinking there.
I
at the
wish she
Gomez
could
Hilton.
loosen up a little. and
Yeah,
have a
I
good
know.
time.
I mean, jeez.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know she's nervous about being on the air.
Well,
but
she's
still.
socially lubricated, as that
Come on.
sometimes happens.
Come on.
That's okay, Joelle.
It's all good.
It is all good. It is all good. But Brittany, I don't know. What do you say? Is there any truth to that? You do hear that if you get like a Florida spiny lobster, the bigger the tails are, the tougher it is. So you don't necessarily want the biggest lobster you can find. You want something, good size, but not necessarily big. Is it the same kind of philosophy apply to Florida stone crab?
I go for larges. I go somewhere in the middle. The big
Yeah?
ones, be a little, I mean, they've been on that meat's been on that crab for a long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, same thing. It's a crustacean. So yeah, bigger isn't always better.
Okay.
In
All right.
fun. But but it's the same with fish.
Right.
Fish that are too big and get wormy. They get, you have all kinds of, there's
Wormy.
that sweet.
Oh, God, you ruined fish for me. Don't do that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But no, I hear you. I don't know. I mean, but the thing is, you get a colossal, and one crab does you. That's two colossal. That's a meal and a half right there, right? Come on. You think?
Who's got a crab behind him? That's so funny.
Well, that would be Commando Kyle is showcasing the Florida stone crab as we speak on YouTube and Facebook. What would that be? What do you think, Kyle? That I would say that's at least a jumbo he's showing, wouldn't you say?
Sarah would know. She's the inspector.
I could see. So the claw right now to me looks this big. So I'm gonna say it's an extra large.
An extra large. Now wait a minute. There's extra large. I thought it was only medium, large, jumbo, and colossal. Now you're throwing in extra large. Oh
big,
dear
so
God. Yeah.
Kind of like eggs.
Not protecting by his head, then who knows?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Is it the same classification for clams?
I don't know. Is it? Do you specialize in clams too, or just stone crab is your thing?
Clams are good.
Clams are good, according to Joelle. But
Doesn't matter if they're big.
Doesn't matter. The clams don't need to be big. As long as they're just right. Okay.
That's right. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
What if they're beardy?
Yeah. Okay.
Stop it.
Stop. You guys, come on now. We've been doing this show. This is our 24th year. Let's not start it like that. That's just inappropriate.
I thought getting kicked off the air was the goal of this one.
Well, we've had tons of practice, God knows. And Casey the Tobacco Nut kind of knows the trend and how we've matured over the years.
What you want to do is dance right up to that line and then dance away.
Yeah, there's a lack of maturity on this show that keeps us fresh, so we can be hip and cutting edge for today's youth.
God damn it, there's that word again.
What?
No, nothing.
Clam?
No.
What?
Hip.
Yeah. Yeah. They're hip to our
As soon as
job.
you say that, you are decidedly not.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. How dare you lecture me after 24 years? I've been doing this show for 24 years. I think I know what I'm doing.
I'm trying to help.
Oh.
I have a question about that.
Okay, well, we have no time for questions. No, we'll get to it next with Casey the Tobacco Nuts. Nut? Yeah, that's it.
Tobacco Nuts.
Would you like to talk diving? Greg the Dive Master's all toweled down and ready to take your call now. Call Scuba Radio at 1-888-88-SCUBA.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo with a buddy or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater. Dive computers for demanding divers.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Here comes old Greg. He's a scaly manfish.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
What you doing in my waters?
The show is a disaster.
I got something to show you.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
Hi there.
Master. Dive Master. Dive Master. Dive Master.
Come on, Greg. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Nart. Hello, fishies.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. 24 years, still sucking on air. And I got to say, I couldn't do it without our sponsors.
Ever wondered how to get those underwater photos with the divers surrounded by fish? Here's a photo pro tip. Put some stank on it.
Wow, fish love you. Never seen anything like it.
Want to know my secret?
Put some stank on it.
It was amazing. The fish came right up to my mask.
Stank stands for smell that air never kills. Rub copious amounts of stank all over your face, chest, neck, legs, and buttocks and become irresistible to marine life.
Oh, what is that rank smell?
Stank chemically simulates rotting fish without the bloody mess of chum or cumbersome meat necklace.
What the hell?
The fish think you're one of them.
That's nasty.
Put some stank on it. One dose is all it takes. It doesn't wash off in water or ever.
Wait, you mean this shit's never coming off?
Hey, I didn't see any fish.
Put some stank on it. Smell that air never kills. Stank. Use only as directed, not to be taken orally, not for nasal insertion. Keep away from eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and rectum. Not responsible for alienation, ostracization, loss of job, friends, or marital separation, and or divorce.
We're never going to make it to 25. I am
Sure
Greg,
we will.
the Dive Master. CJ's in the studio with me. And we have the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web. Got Captain Walty Martini and Joelle there at the Gomez Hilton today. Jerry Beatty from Dive Training Magazine. Vinny Two Tanks. Commando Kyle. Bubble Boy. Jerry the Diver Guy. Casey the Tobacco Nut, which we're going to get to in just a bit.
Tobacco nuts.
Well, one of them, at least. We got time for at least one nut. And actually, we have Dr. Doug Eversole with us as well, standing by to, give
Patiently waiting
medical assistance if it is needed for this show. Dr. Doug, are you with us? I see a picture of him. I'm not sure if we have him. Do we? No, I don't hear him.
You didn't play his intro.
Oh, wait, there he is.
Here he is.
Yeah,
I'm here.
He's here. Okay. All right. He's standing by with his
I'm here.
defibrillator or something like that.
I'm driving.
Okay, no problem. All right.
On video.
Yeah. You have a kind of a, well, he has his microphone hooked up to the defibrillator.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
That's what it sounds like when you do that. When you try to talk and give your. Clear! And then it gives himself a shock and he'll be back. So we'll connect with him eventually here, but he's standing by. All right, so Casey, I don't know, did you have a question, comment, or what was it that you wanted to get out there at the end of the last break?
I was just going to say, Greg, do you feel that the show has grown and improved since we all sat around that pool table and drank beer and talked about it?
Hey, Casey, now that I'm on, I think it's improved a lot.
Oh, there you go. See, Joelle, that's why she's here, is
It's totally improved.
to kick it up a notch.
I would agree.
That's right.
Yeah.
That means
Right.
That means you have to go to Waltz every Saturday, right?
I'm in.
Yeah, that wouldn't take too much coaxing. To answer your question, Casey, do I think it has gotten better or grown? It's definitely grown. Look at all the nut jobs that we have connected via the web.
Well, that is true. We have gathered more squad.
Right. and there's power in numbers, or well, this way we're able to spread the blame out over
Safety.
a wider swath of folk, as
Safety
opposed to
in
I would say power in mobs.
yeah, as opposed to just me. So okay,
And Jerry.
yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't say it's necessarily gotten better. It's continued.
I mean, thank you for your honesty.
When we used to interview people like Hulk Hogan and things.
Right.
Movie stars.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that?
I think they sunk the boat.
Okay. I don't even remember doing that. Was that on?
I don't remember that either.
I don't remember when he was the tough guy on the big black supercharged boat in Miami.
Yeah. Well,
We interviewed him at his trailer.
the Thunder show, that TV show. Yeah.
That's it.
But that wasn't part of Scuba Radio. I think that was part of the radio gig. You're mixing things up.
Then why'd we play it on Scuba Radio?
I don't remember. I blocked it out years ago, Casey.
Jesus.
Come on.
It was a long time ago. I'm sorry. I might have smoked some brain cells.
Yeah, well, there's that. But look, the thing is, it is pretty amazing we've been able to do this for so long and still manage to just act like we're hanging out at the tiki bar after a day of diving, sharing a few fish tales with friends. That's what this show started as and what it continues to be to this day.
Amen. God bless me.
Right. And God knows we don't want to get the truth mixed up into telling a good story.
bless us all.
Yeah. Jerry the diver guy probably has his first impression thought of Scuba Radio. Do you remember that, or did you block it out, Jerry?
We can't discuss that.
Okay. Well, I did preface the pre-show meeting with the crew today, and I said, look, be prepared to share your initial thoughts or initial impressions of Scuba Radio when you heard about it and your best Scuba Radio story without getting anyone in trouble.
That was a meeting, a lame text like 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's the...
Jerry the diver guy, where did you dive?
Well, we don't care. We don't care, Joel. But we appreciate the question regardless. We got a few shows going here at once. That's just how we roll sometimes. After 24 years, you'd think we'd be a little bit more focused, but why start now?
In the mountains.
We're on a roll. All right, look, hour two's on deck. The dive god, Neil Watson, going to join us, as well as the History of Diving Museum, Lisa. She runs that facility. We'll check in with her in hour two. Stay close.
Close your eyes there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio. This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling new radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to Hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ's in the studio with me here on our 24th year on the air. We're celebrating an anniversary, birthday, whatever you want to call it, of Scuba Radio. Also, it happens to be Bubble Boy's birthday.
It does.
The same day. It coincides with the anniversary of Scuba Radio. April Fool's Day is Bubble Boy's birthday.
A toast.
So, a toast.
Yeah, I'm toasted.
Yeah, everybody's toasted.
You know what I
Right.
just figured out?
What did you figure out there, CJ?
I've known him for 40 years.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
1981.
Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Y'all are old.
Oh.
Well, we were
buddies.
just kids. We were kids.
You're kids?
We were in middle school. We were in like 6th grade.
Who would have thought 40 years later you would amount to nothing like you are here now? God bless you.
You know, you really know how to pump a guy up, Greg.
It's just what we do, you know. We're divers. We bring everybody down. That's what it's all about. That's my excuse.
Well, I see what you did there.
All right. But yeah, happy birthday to Bubble Boy as well as Scuba
We're going to
Radio.
go do some shots later.
We might have to celebrate. I don't know. Casey the Tobacco Nut might have cigars for everybody. He sent them out this week.
To you, Greg.
Oh, he'll get them out to us.
Oh, they're not here yet.
Oh,
man.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to resort to what we do every
Casey's
week.
never been known for his prompt delivery.
Well, that's okay.
But he delivers.
He does. He absolutely
That's right.
does.
Just remember.
Yeah. You know, CJ and myself, we've lost connection with the Gomez Hilton, probably just as well because Joelle was getting a little too socially lubricated there, I think. And she was bound to blurt out something that she wasn't supposed to. So I'm kind of glad.
Yeah, you were getting nervous. That was funny. Greg started to sweat a little bit.
I was watching the dump button like, oh, get ready.
We're going to
Get
see
ready.
if Greg's deodorant's working.
Anyway, CJ and myself did spend a couple days at the Gomez Hilton earlier the week to finish up lobster season for Florida. It ended on the 31st. And we went out. We saw a lobster, but we didn't catch none.
But we sure had fun.
We had a blast. You know, the weather was great. Air temperature was good. The sun was out. But the wind was blowing. So that stirred up things a little bit, made the visibility not ideal for lobster hunting.
But we got out in the perfect window early Tuesday morning.
We did. And the bonus was we got a couple more scuba jets to play with. And this was really the first opportunity I've had to take the scuba jet into the open ocean and see what these things could do. You know, they're about the size of a Hickory Farm smoked sausage. I had a really big one. And CJ, what are you shaking your head?
Continue.
I had a really big one. And then I had a scuba jet too. 24 years and it never gets old. But we had one that had like a supercharged battery in it. And it was much longer. So it was kind of like looked like a really high-tech James Bond torpedo looking scuba jet.
That one is the home wrecker, I believe.
I think that we had a few different names for this particular version. It basically had a lot more battery power. But
they're both just as fast.
Yeah, they it does increase the thrust, but it does increase the length of operation. What?
Who's naughty? You're a naughty boy.
Bubble Boy.
Does it make your liver quiver, Greg?
I don't even know what that means. So anyway, the scuba jets, we had a blast. They worked great. They were cruising
If
underwater.
I could just give a quick report.
Is it hard to hold on to?
No, not at all. You have they have two handles with the dive
For
package.
you, probably.
Well, why
No,
would that
kidding.
be?
I'm just busting
I
his.
don't know.
I'm just
ScubaJet.com.
I'm just
Check them out.
busting his
Yeah.
tobacco nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but they haul ass.
They do. It's funny. It has kind of like it sucks in water from the front of the scuba jet, and then it blows it out behind you or behind the scuba jet, and you just kind of hold
be
it.
lousy going the other way.
It's like a tiny elephant.
A tiny elephant.
Yeah.
I don't.
Sucks up through his snout and
Okay, there's that. And if you aim the exhaust.
Exhaust.
Yeah, if you aim it in the right, you'll get a nice little tingly feeling through your nether regions.
You sick.
Bonus. So anyway, it was fun, and they really work really well. I mean, we really had a blast. The only thing kind of blew is that we didn't have very good visibility, so we couldn't really get it on film. We were going with the hopes of getting some documenting some of this stuff with a GoPro or something, but the visibility was kind of churned up because of the wind in South Florida, so it didn't cooperate.
Oh, I thought we didn't get that because you forgot your GoPro.
No, I had the GoPro. I just we didn't have good enough viz to do it. If we wouldn't have stayed right next to each other, all you'd have to do is like hit go and like, oh, where'd CJ go? Lost him.
Oh, I lost you a couple of times, but I could hear you because I could hear the scuba jet.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I hear him.
Yeah, it's like a
can't see him, but I hear him.
It's kind of like that underwater a little bit, but it was cool. And I could see doing some serious wall flying with those scuba jets.
Hell yeah.
Because that is one of the most fun things you can do underwater is do a wall flying thing. Have you ever done that, Casey? Some wall flying with scooters before, underwater scooters?
Yeah, but the scooters I had, they were much bulkier than the jet. So
right.
The jet would be a blast just because of the streamline.
It is. It's very streamlined.
Scuba jet. Ask for it by name.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's kind of, I don't know, they're so small, you don't expect them to have that much thrust. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's what the surprising part of using them in the ocean was. I knew they were going to be powerful enough, but I really didn't expect them to be able to go that quick. And I was like, holy crap, here we go. And they really do have a lot of juice to them. And, you get the extended battery pack. It's longer. It looks impressive. And, but even the smaller one the battery life on it was more than ample for a couple good long dives, I thought. So there you go.
Yeah, we were only at 50%.
Right.
And it was cruising.
Mm-hmm. We created a water fountain at the Gomez Hilton Pool facility.
Yeah, we had like a water fight.
Yeah, I won. Because mine was better and longer. Anyway, I don't know. Dr. Doug Ebersol was he's been doing some cave diving, and I don't know. Dr. Doug, can you hear us now? I mean, I still don't see his video, so I know he's driving.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we got you now. So where did you just get back from, Dr. Doug? Where have you been diving?
Well, I'm actually I'm in a traffic jam on I-75 at the moment. But,
that sucks.
I spent the last 3. Yeah, that's all right. Just trying to get home for Easter with the family tomorrow. But I've been cave diving the last 3 days. So we were up at a place called Buford Springs, which is right near Weeki Wachee on Thursday. And then yesterday we were in Peacock Springs, and then today at Jenny Springs, and now I'm headed home.
Well, there you go.
I've just gotten a new scooter myself, so we were playing around with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, the scuba jet would work well with what you're doing in those cave systems, because, one of the problems you have with that, and I don't know if you had it with the scooter you're using, but you got to get through some tight spots in some of those cave systems, don't you, Dr. Doug, or what?
Some of them, yeah. It depends where you are.
Right.
There's a place at Jenny Springs called the Lips that you have to kind of crawl on your belly to get through. So what you kind of do, and the flow's coming at you, so you kind of hold the scooter off to the side and kind of help it pull you through. But
right.
Yeah, there's definitely some technique involved with a big scooter, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, one of these scuba jets might come in handy because they're definitely smaller than your typical scooter, for sure, that you're using in those cave systems.
Yeah, it sounds great. I saw you guys had them on Facebook. So it looks like real small and real powerful. That's great.
Well, about the size of a Hickory Farm smoked sausage. And that really describes it well as far as the size, but it has the size of or power of something much, much larger. Wouldn't you agree, CJ?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Doug, if you ask Greg real nice, he probably won't let you borrow his.
Never happened. What'd you say, right. Dr. Doug? What'd you say? Say it again.
I said, what's the battery life? So you guys did a couple of hour dives or something, or what?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we didn't even use up all the juice in them, and I had one that had an extended battery pack on it because you can double them up with their new systems. But yeah, hour and a half, easy. I bet minimum on one of these things. All right, more coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures ScubaRadio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Invited to my party.
Put another candle on my birthday cake. We're gonna bake a birthday cake. Put another candle on my birthday cake. I'm another year old today.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. It is our birthday, 24 years on the air for Scuba Radio, believe it or not. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ in the studio with me. We got the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web. We're going to talk to them, reflect on some of their first impressions of Scuba Radio when they heard it. But one of the guys I always have on this time of year, every year, because he has definitely been a mentor, and that would be the dive god, Mr. Neil Watson, who's with us, connected via FaceTime. How you doing, Neil? What's going on, buddy?
Gregory, how are you, my friend? Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
24 years of shaking down people for dive vacations all over the world.
Yeah, that's right.
And equipment from the manufacturer.
You know what? We've done pretty good.
You are my hero, dude.
Yeah, we have done pretty well over the years. Scoring a few trips here and there, and maybe getting some gear to play with.
Scooters.
Yeah. But yeah, it does have its perks.
It does.
Yeah.
But I mean, talking about equipment, you and CJ need to find somebody that has compasses.
Yeah, why do you say that?
I was in the back.
CJ, a.k.a. Lewis and Clark.
Look.
Great explorers and navigators.
Okay, here we go.
I had nothing to do with that.
I can second that, Neil.
I was in the back seat. Just
you were a backseat driver.
No.
We had a little incident when we left the Gomez Hilton to go get some food.
Greg got hopelessly lost.
With Camel DiMartini. We were going to go meet the dive god for dinner. And we took the scenic route.
My favorite part of that whole day was when Walt finally said, "We're nowhere near the place."
Who would have thunk? There's two Flanagans, and we said we're going to meet at Flanagan's in Davie, Florida, and they meant to say
on Davie.
On Davie Boulevard.
Davie Boulevard.
Yeah, but we put into the GPS.
He still doesn't know.
Davie, Florida. No, that's what it was. It was the GPS's fault. It was that damn Siri. You heard me cursing at Siri because we were using her to navigate, and she just did not help the situation. And somehow,
thank God Queen Isabella of Spain didn't hire you guys to find America.
Yeah.
Columbus can find America and make it back to Spain. And you can't make it to a restaurant with a GPS.
Well,
I don't like how I'm getting lumped in with this.
Okay, so what Neil is pointing out is the one flaw that I may have. I am lacking in navigation. Actually, 23andMe says that in my DNA, I do lack some navigation ability. It's in my genetics that I'm a little challenged in that regard. So that's my excuse. I have documentation to prove it. So
I'm gonna let that die.
Yeah, okay.
Blame it on something.
Yeah, it's in my DNA. So what are you going to do? All right. So Dive God Neil Watson, he's told this story every year, and I don't know if it's worth repeating, but basically, when we started Scuba Radio, Neil was very supportive. I called him up, said, "Would you be on the show?" And then as soon as I hung up and scheduled the interview, you called up Captain Slate and said what exactly, Neil?
Yeah, well, some guy had tried that once before, a radio show about diving, and it lasted about 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So it didn't have a great track record.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Slate had been on your show first, and then you got a hold of me, and I called Slate. I said, "Slate, dude, I got a call from this guy, Greg Holt. Really sounds like a nice guy, but he's going to try to do a weekly show about scuba diving, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the show, but this thing ain't gonna fly, man. It's doomed."
Yeah, it's doomed. So luckily, Neil kept his thoughts to himself and didn't burst my bubble. Similar to Jerry Beatty.
And an overnight success after only 24 years.
That's right, overnight success in just 24 years.
We'll get there one day.
Yeah, I don't know. Jerry, did you and Neil ever compare notes on Scuba Radio over the years, or did you, I don't know,
Absolutely.
warn each other? Yeah.
When you first started going around meeting everybody, you were the talk of the town, Greg.
Uh-oh. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. It's not,
Everybody was calling each other, just going, well, is this guy a nutcase or
just an attractive young man? No? I didn't? What? No. Okay. Well, well, I still get that kind of reaction from everybody. So not much has changed, I guess, in all these years, right?
The devil you know.
Yeah. I mean,
some things don't change.
Right. So it is what it is. But yeah, Neil.
Maybe by your 30th anniversary, you'll get over seasickness. You'll be able to go out on a boat without puking.
Well, no, I got to feed the fish. I want to give back.
But he'll still make us sick.
Yes. There's that. Well, all right. Well, Neil, it's always fun to have you on. And, your lack of support over the years has really been, advantageous to the fact that we've been around for so long. But in all seriousness, I thank you for just being a friend and, talking to me regardless of my flaws.
Listen, all kidding aside, you've been a great asset to the industry. And, normally I'll hear negatives about publishers or magazines or whatever. I can honestly say, Greg, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say a bad word about you. So that's something.
Neil's hearing is going, obviously. It's my guess. I thought for sure he was going to say you've been a major ass for the industry for all these years, but he did say asset, didn't he, CJ?
I can't even be nice to you. That's
well, no, it is an honor to have such prestigious, friends like Neil. I mean, he's like 6 world records in the Guinness Book. It's insane, Neil's track record, and the fact that he takes time to talk to us fairly regularly on the show, and we get to go hang with him is quite an honor in its own right. So Neil, thank you, and without your support, we could have never made it all these years. So you're to blame. Take it for what it's worth.
Thank you, my friend, and I hope I'm still talking to you on the 30th and the 40th and the whatever.
There you go. Mr. Neil Watson. Just Google him. Neil Watson, the dive god, as we like to call him. He has the pendant and the whole thing to prove it, too.
Google him, and then you'll go, holy sh...
Yeah. Why does he talk to Greg on Scuba Radio? I don't get it.
He must be super bored.
Yeah.
He's lonely.
Exactly. Nah, he has a lot going on, Mr. Watson. He does indeed. But he still manages to make time for us, and we love him for it, as well as everybody like Jerry Beatty. And, well, I'm looking up at the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. There's other people, too. So we'll talk to them next. Stay
We
close.
love you too, Greg.
Yes, yes.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
A friend I know, he's got the world's first scuba diving radio show. So now everywhere I am and everywhere I go, the first thing that I tune to is Scuba Radio.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Greg the Dive Master, CJ in the studio, and the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web. We got Jerry Beatty from Dive Training Magazine helping us out today, too. Vinny Two Tanks. Vinny, I do need to go to you and talk to you at some point because, well, I mean, you're kind of a big deal. You're out on, you're our West Coast representative. So I'm just going to hand it off to you and see how this goes.
And now, a word from Vinny Two Tanks.
Go, Vinny. Go. That's your cue.
You got to unmute.
Yeah, you got to turn your mic on, Vinny. Turn your mic on.
And 3, 2.
Yeah. Now.
Happy birthday.
All right, 2 words, bud.
This has been a word from Vinny Two Tanks on Scuba Radio.
It's good his mic was muted because I saw what he said by reading his lips.
It was obvious.
He
Greg.
said, He said, friend you.
No, I don't
friend
think.
You.
No,
he pointed.
No, I don't think that's what it was.
Friend
but
you.
I would have had to hit the dump button for sure.
Let me give you.
Glad I was
Let me give you an idea here, Greg.
What, Jerry the Diver Guy? What?
This was an idea. Hello, my name is. Can't say it on the air, but.
Oh boy, did you see what he did there?
Yeah.
Jerry the Diver Guy has broken out the hand puppets.
You leave Barry out of this.
Yeah, Barry is missing, by the way, in action.
That's
today.
why we're having such a good show.
Yeah.
I knew something felt different.
He got Barry got vaccinated yesterday, and he's a little under the weather, and he could not make the show today. So we're Barry-less. So Jerry is feeling a little lost without his buddy. Yeah, the Jerry and Barry show it just isn't happening
Barry
today.
Amenema.
So Jerry has resorted to hand puppets, and that's what you see this on YouTube and Facebook, and we apologize. All right, more coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. It's our birthday, 24 years on the air of Scuba Radio, believe it or not. April Fool's Day is our anniversary. We've passed it. We've made it into our 24th year. It just flew by because basically nothing happened this past year of note other than, the fact that we were cooped up inside and couldn't do as much diving as we'd like to. But things are opening up. This is going to be a good year. Are you with me, CJ?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Now we have Lisa from the History of Diving Museum connected via FaceTime. She's out and about in the Florida Keys, and she's on Scuba Radio right now. Lisa, how are you? What's going on?
I'm doing great, Greg. I am outside enjoying the fun and sun in the Florida Keys. Today's my day off.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. It's a little windy, so that's why, it's a little noisy where she is. But, I would rather be there than here.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. The view you have looks amazing. It's sunny. It's nice and cool and breezy down there in the Keys, right?
Well, I was at the museum a little bit earlier today, but, it's just too nice outside to be, I had to share my time.
There you go. Totally understand. Well, thank you.
All the best.
Yeah,
Happy anniversary.
History of Diving Museum right down there in Islamorada, Florida. If you're topside or if you've got blown out, maybe it's a little too windy to dive today, perfect time to go visit the museum and learn a little bit about the history of diving there. They got some amazing exhibits. And, it was this time about 4 years ago that we kind of punked Lisa and the crew at the History of Diving Museum because for our 20-year anniversary, we kind of did an April Fool's joke and said that they had set up an exhibit celebrating 20 years of Scuba Radio. And then, we did this. They started getting a couple calls, and I called up Lisa to kind of apologize, and we kind of hit it off. And she said, "Oh, it's okay. That's hilarious." That is, yeah, you guys, you didn't take offense to our little joke, right?
I've known you for too long to take offense to that, and I get the whole thing. Last year was our 15-year anniversary, which we quietly enjoyed and celebrated amidst COVID, and then luckily we're able to open up at the end of the year to share it with our visitors.
There you go. Yeah. Well, she has a good sense of humor. She has plenty of other things that I've done to offend her, to let something silly like a punking of a fake exhibit that we orchestrated on their show 4 years ago for our 20th. So I love the spirit that they have there at the History of Diving Museum. Lisa and her crew are awesome. It won't be soon enough before we get back down there and spend some quality time with you guys now that things are starting to open up. And, well, it's already opened up where you guys are, right? People can like full tilt this weekend, right?
We have been pleasantly surprised at the number of families that have come through that are down on spring break. We've got a diving and pop culture exhibit that's going to be opening in the next couple of weeks, and we're real excited. That's going to be on display till the end of the year, actually till December 31st.
Okay. And everybody can go to divingmuseum.com, or divingmuseum.org for the full schedule for the History of Diving Museum, ticket info, everything, right, Lisa?
Yep.
There you go. All right. We're kind of losing.
We look forward to having you down for some stuff.
Yes. Well, once again, it won't happen soon enough. And by the way, I'm going to send you a little note here after the show about the Easter eel. Might be visiting the History of Diving Museum this weekend. It's Easter tomorrow. You know about the Easter eel, right, Lisa?
I'm afraid not.
That's that was the perfect response.
A plumber's nightmare.
Well, we'll get you the information, and who knows, it might end up as an exhibit at the History of Diving Museum and that kind of thing, as well as something. Maybe for the 25th anniversary of Scuba Radio. Who knows? Well, but I'll let you get back to it. Thanks for checking in, Lisa, and enjoy your time there in the Florida Keys. The weather looks great. You know, you can't see this on YouTube, unfortunately, but she's having an awesome time. It looks beautiful, nice and cool, nice breeze, you know, kind of keep the bugs at bay there in the Florida Keys, so you don't have to worry about things as far as, you know, critters and stuff. And it's nice and cool, refreshing, you know, Easter weekend, that kind of thing. I think the Easter eel probably would be an ideal exhibit for the History of Diving Museum. You think,
right
CJ?
next to our puppets.
Well, right. Well, I'll tell you what, you know, 4 years ago for the 20-year anniversary of Scuba Radio, we did this joke. We did this April Fool's joke that they had set up a special exhibit for Scuba Radio, 20 years of doing this goofy show. And it was a big hose. We totally made up, big punking. A lot of people fell for it. They got some phone calls about it, which was shocking to me, because then I was like, oh, crap, I'm going to have to call them and apologize. They're going to hate me. But they thought it was pretty funny and appreciated the publicity. So, I don't know, next year's our 25th. Maybe we really talk them into doing an exhibit.
Well, Greg.
Yeah?
The 25th, they'll put you in the museum.
What are you trying to say?
I mean, that's a quarter century. You've been there for 25 years.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the museum.
Wait. This is a History of Diving Museum, not an old folks' home, Cherry. Just so we're clear.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Have you had the warranty on the monkey heart checked lately?
No. It's expired a long time ago. But I don't know. Maybe we can get them actually to do a real exhibit. I don't know what we would display.
We could get Dr. Doug to shock you back to life.
Well, we got that. But I mean, if we actually were to do a real exhibit on 25 years of Scuba Radio, what would be in it?
A dumpster of empty liquor bottles.
Okay, that's right. Right.
A toilet bowl.
A toilet bowl?
Yep.
Gary might donate his Elvis costume from Dima.
Ah, the one with a hole strategically located in the crotchal area? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of memories.
We've had some great memories, some wardrobe malfunctions.
Yeah. Well, or maybe we just, it'll probably coincide with Easter next year, maybe too. So maybe we kind of combine the Easter eel phenomenon as well. What do you, CJ? What do you think?
I think you throw one of these microphones in there with the handy mic flags.
With the Easter eel?
No, for the exhibit.
Oh, right. But I'm just saying we could actually, I don't think there's any other show out there in the world today talking about the Easter eel.
You got to catch them first.
Well, you got to set a trap, right?
Or are you just going to have like pictures?
Well, pictures, the history of the Easter eel, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm sure the eel's not too busy.
If we threw a Junkanoo party like we did on the Bahamas Isle.
The what isle?
Would be there.
Hey, Jack! Wow.
The behemoth isle.
Yeah. Well, Bahamas, the Easter eel is a worldly thing. It's not just isolated to the Bahamas.
Yeah, but I'm sure the Easter eel's listening, and he'd probably call in, Greg.
Well, I don't know if he's probably pretty busy preparing for Easter.
I don't think he talks.
He visits good little diver boys and girls around the world on Easter morning. Might just pop up in your turlet. So
those chocolatey eggs.
Yeah, well, there's
eat enough boiled eggs, and he might visit you.
I don't know what you have to eat, but that's evidently a thing. You don't hear about, but this is the quality information that divers around the world get exclusively on Scuba Radio. If we weren't doing this, nobody else would be doing this.
They wouldn't know about him.
And Google the Easter eel; it'll pop right up, the pictures and everything. We're not making this up. We're just reporting
ancient lore.
Yeah, we're reporting the truth, of how this stuff happens. So Google Easter eel, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of people think that, Scuba Radio is some big, long-running 24-year-old gag. We don't make this stuff up. No.
I thought
we report The
I
truth.
thought it was.
Yeah. What? Come on, Jerry Beatty. You know it.
You are actually on the radio. You aren't just talking on the phone
Well,
here.
no, that's true. But Jerry Beatty and Dive Training Magazine, have they ever covered the legend of the Easter eel?
I don't believe so, actually.
What?
I think that could be a feature, Greg.
You know what?
Never covered the legend of Scuba Radio.
Actually, they have. They've done feature-length articles on Scuba Radio over the years. Yeah, they
And
have.
lots of press releases.
Yep. Yeah, they've done many of that. But I can't believe they haven't. The Easter eel hasn't made donned the pages of the.
It's not quite as high profile as like Santa Claus.
Well,
Think of
that's
the
true.
cover photo.
No respect for the Easter eel, but it is a very exclusive diver-centric, holiday that maybe a lot of divers aren't aware of.
I bet Captain Slate knows about the Easter eel.
You know what? He's doing something in honor of that, and we'll talk about it next. Stay close.
Scuba Radio.
Would you like to talk diving? Greg the Dive Master's all toweled down and ready to take your call now. Call Scuba Radio at 1-888-88-SCUBA.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater. Dive computers for demanding divers.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving, flying, and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving, flying, and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why I wanted to tell you about Nanook Professional Protective Cases. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook cases generally cost less than similar products currently on the market. From an iPhone to a full set of dive gear, whatever you need to shield from the elements, Nanook Professional Protective Cases has the size, shape, and color for you. Go to nanook.com. That's NANUK.com for Nanook Professional Protective Cases. The evolution of protection.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new Scuba Radio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 Scuba Radio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New Scuba Radio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Let's join the celebration down there. Let's all have a happy Easter.
Here comes Ed the Easter eel. We're not quite sure just what's his deal. He comes to good divers on Easter Day.
Oh, wow.
You'll wake up Easter morning and you'll do what we all do. He might be there to wish you well, but don't confuse him with your poo. So keep the lid up for him this year. The Easter eel is almost here. Divers round the world now all say yay! Yay!
Yay!
This was a great, inspiring legend that you made up.
No, that's not true at all. It's on Google. It's on the interwebs. Check it out. Google the Easter eel.
It's on Google. It's true.
Yeah, and I don't know about the Ed. I forgot that the Easter eel's name was Ed.
I think. I didn't know
That's Mr. Hanky.
Nope, that is incorrect. That's a totally different. That's a mythical Christmas character, Jerry. This is actually a real diver-centric holiday that we can rally behind because, we share that love of the underwater
listen,
world.
Jerry, listen.
Oh, I'm
It's not
sorry.
some fictional, made-up nonsense cartoon. Oh, man. But there you go.
Actually, when Scuba Radio began, that would have been a timely reference.
What do you mean?
24 years ago, Mr. Hankey would have been like, wow.
Well,
Good one.
Jerry the Diver Guy's trying to keep us hip with the kids.
There it is, that 1970s coming out of you.
I know.
Trying to keep us hip with the kids of the 90s is what
I'm a hep cat.
Groovy.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. What was your first impression of Scuba Radio when you heard about it, Jerry the Diver Guy? Do you have any insights that you can share without getting anyone in trouble? Or what?
I'll be honest with you. I picked up a copy of Florida Scuba News.
Yeah.
And there was an article in there with Scuba Radio. And I was like, oh, well, look, it's
Yeah. You're like, what the heck is that?
I had
Huh?
to buy a radio.
Yeah.
Well, I bought the radio, listened to it, and it sucked. I mean, sucked. I don't know what went on that day with you, but so I gave it a second try, and I've been hooked ever since.
Oh.
And now I'm on it.
All right. Wait. So the first time you heard the show, you got, God, these guys are terrible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I ain't going to lie to you.
Yeah, but you tolerated us. And
I gave you a second time or a second chance.
Uh-huh. And what did we do the second time that kind of hooked you?
I must have been off that day.
I'm
Oh,
guessing.
y'all were talking about diving.
Is that what it was?
God forbid.
What are the odds? Well,
Yeah.
50-50, evidently.
But that was about like in 2004, 2005.
See,
I'm wondering.
I hadn't joined yet.
You think that's what it was?
Yeah, had to be.
No, I don't think. I think what it was is the
Coincidence?
first Saturday, Cherry wasn't drinking. And the second time,
it's a possibility.
he might have been a little bit more socially lubricated and open to our form of entertainment.
You didn't ask me, but you want to know what my first impression of Scuba Radio
I'll
was?
ask you. I'm asking you right now.
He's asking you right now.
Don't hate us because you hate us.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
All right, so I was there at that Heartless Corporation where we used to work.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
And Greg comes to me and you guys may not know this, but that whole opening sequence of the show with all that crazy stuff going around, filling your radio with water.
Right, yes.
I produced that.
He did.
So
CJ did that for me.
He asked me to do it. My first impression was, Jesus, this is going to be a lot of work.
Right. And it has been.
But you're still using it, so that's pretty cool.
It's lasted 24 years.
You can't afford to get somebody else to do something.
Yeah, well, that is so true.
Speaking of which,
And
I do
how-
still
how
have
do
that
you-
outstanding invoice from 24 years ago.
Well, it's in the file. It's in the file to be paid.
Compound late fees. That's a lot of months.
No, there's no late fees involved. None at all.
I'll waive it. I'll waive it for you.
But why, he's like, what do you mean I can't get anyone to do anything else, Jerry? That's not true. How do you improve on perfection?
Exactly.
Yeah, see?
Well,
You're never going to top that.
I'm not going to pay you, but I'll give you all the accolades you need.
After all these years,
defer
you kind of
payment.
grew on me. And
Kind of like a virus.
Like a fungus.
Yeah.
You've become my best friend. And even though I got you an award at DEMA and made you feel important,
Yeah.
you are
Well,
important.
we're still pulling on that one.
Reach around award.
You got his reach around award.
Oh, hey, now.
Jerry, are you a farmer? Because you're milking it.
Hey.
Well, nobody else loves him, so I might as well.
Okay. All right. Well, I think. Thanks. I think. I'm.
You think you thought?
Yeah. Kyle, you have any last minute thoughts, real quick, about Scuba Radio? You're the newest one to the crew.
God help him.
We found out about you guys at DEMA. Walking into the show, we looked over, we see all the mermaids over there, and we're checking in. So our first interaction was just meeting you guys in person. And
Sorry.
Yeah, really sorry for that.
You know what? We thought you guys were really awesome, and I really didn't expect it to go any further than that. But I am happy to be a part of this. You guys.
What did we do? Give you a free prize?
No, but do you have any?
Oh, fresh out.
Nope, we're out. Got nothing. Nothing for you, Kyle. But we appreciate you being on board. And people like Dr. Doug Ebersol, I think he's still connected, and but he's driving. There he is. He's listening in.
Oh, he's still stuck on I-75.
Right. There you go.
Still stuck on I-75.
Still, okay, stuck in traffic.
Son of a bitch!
Yeah. God bless him. Well, there you go. We're a good way to pass the time when you're stuck in traffic. There's a testimony.
Pass the time, pass a kidney stone.
All right. Well, 24 years, still sucking on air. Thank you for hanging with us. We do appreciate you tolerating our nonsense.
We can agree.
Well, thank you, Jerry. And on that note, we'll wrap it up. Remember, it's always better where, gang? Come on.
Down where it's wetter.
Safe diving, everyone.
If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio. This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.